everybody should feel like they're not alone. I think that's the important one. They're not alone, and everybody going through different things. So, and I would say, like, be kind to the other people around you, because you never know what the other ones are going through and what they're struggling with. So to start and always be really kind, I think it's a good start.
Welcome to Stories of Strength, a podcast by Juventus to kick off the mental health stigma. My name is Katie Morton, and I'm a licensed therapist, and today's topic is all about the role of a support system. And I have the wonderful privilege of sitting down with the Juventus women's player, Linda Sembrant. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So when I grew up playing sports, I always thought of the team as kind of my second family. And those were relationships that I would lean on for support when I had a really tough test coming up, or a breakup, or an argument with my parents. What's been your experience?
No, absolutely, yes. I mean, in my situation also, I was moving from my family. So that system like went farther away from me. So football and being in a group has been really important. And a lot of friends is friends for life now. And so for sure, it's like a second family.
And outside of that, because there's other people we're going to encounter in our life and other support systems like our family, how has that been a piece of your life? What are your other support arms of that system?
My family is a big support. I think one thing that I'm really thankful for how they've been to me is that they always been seeing me as Linda, as the person I am, and nothing like a football player, how I'm doing in the games or nothing. For there, always when I came home, when I was a little girl too, when I came home, I was just Linda, and I'm still the little kid. But yeah, I'm still just Linda for them. So that's a really good feeling, because it's really important. And then, of course, a lot of friends that I've created relationships during my years, and then, of course, my partner is a big partner, big support.
Do you find, out of curiosity, because your partner also plays, right? Do you find there's a difference between your friends or support system, people who are professional athletes as well and really get it, and people who maybe don't?
Yeah, it's a big difference, but I also loves it. Because I have one friend and I was 6 years old, and she understands nothing, about football.
That's okay.
But that's amazing. And like one time I was going to play the Euros for the Swedish national team, and she asked me, like, is that something good? And I was like, I don't know, that's up to you. What do you think, and what do you feel for football? But she really knows nothing. And that's also really amazing, I think, to have those people and those friends, and then also those friends that understands how you can feel in this world with professional football. And also, my partner, we can support each other and understand each other in a good way.
Out of curiosity, when you're playing with your partner, right, because you're on the same team, how do you navigate that? Is it like work mode, and you're like, or do you play with her differently now that you're in a relationship?
No, I would say it's the work mode is on. We really, I think both of us are really like focus, and when we go out the pitch, we really want to do 100% and
get in the zone.
Yeah, I really like that. But in the same way, I think we may be harder to each other, can be like on the pitch and things. And no, but it's a good. You learn a lot, and we have a good balance, I think.
That's good. I always wondered, because I can't imagine playing with my partner. I'm like, would that change what I would think about that? Maybe I should pass them more. Maybe I should.
No, nothing like that. No.
Okay, good. Yeah. It's business.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So in relationships, in support systems, sometimes things are dysfunctional, or sometimes things don't work. Can you describe a time when maybe a relationship wasn't as supportive as you thought, and how did you navigate that?
I've been through, different moments in my career, and I remember one moment, like when one of my support system was not good. I was in a relationship that was not so healthy, and little controlled and toxic. So that part was not positive in my life at that moment. And I remember I played a World Cup, like played all the games. Was doing really well, and it was an amazing time going through that in football. But at the same time, I was struggling outside of football. But I think what helped me was the friends I had around me. Were like, they knew me since a long time, and they could see something was not right. So I think in that moment, they maybe pushed and asked more questions and checked in on me more, because I would say I'm a person like, okay, I will go through this. It's fine. I can take care of myself. I'm like this. So, but there, I think they got through that bubble a little bit and helped me to get through that moment in my life.
Yeah, I was I'll take care of it myself person too. Do you find it hard to ask for help?
Yeah, it's so strange because it's so stupid. Because yeah, for myself, yes, but I will tell you, just ask. It's no problem. Like we're here for you. We want your best, and so it's really like that. So I would really say like to ask for help is a strength, and it's something like, I don't know, like if you ask me for help, that's just show you that you have so much strength and open up about yourself. And so I think it's so important to have people around you that never judge you, that always support you, and then you as a person can feel comfortable and tell them whatever it is.
Yeah, because sharing and opening up is like makes us feel vulnerable, right? And then I don't know, I've always been afraid, like, what if I share and then they're like not there for me, or they don't say the thing that I need to be said, or I feel stupid or whatever. But if somebody opens up to me, I'm like, 10 out of 10, that was great. You should do that more.
Yeah, it's so easy to tell about others, but doing it by yourself. But yeah, I think we all can progress a lot to really like be brave and ask.
Yeah, I agree. Now, moving on to kind of navigating difficult times, right? So you had that toxic relationship that was terrible. And luckily your friends were persistent enough that you were like, okay, it's bad. But when it comes to being an athlete and the pressure to perform, let's say your previous knee injury, dealing with that, how, because you were removed almost immediately from your teammates, which is a big part of your support system, how did you navigate that difficulty?
Yeah, when I got the knee injury, I mean, in just 1 second, you will not be able to train with the group anymore for a long time. And suddenly you're an individual athlete. And when you're used to go to the pitch and go out there with 20 other players and be with the staff around and so much people, then suddenly it's you and the rehab person is going to help you to get back on the pitch. So yeah, that was a tough moment. And also because with the knee injury, you don't know, nothing for sure you get back.
You don't know if you'll come back.
Yeah. I knew I would come back if it was just up to me, because I knew I was able to put the effort that I had to.
Just also you're strong-headed. You're like, I'm going to do
every
this.
Day, I can do this. No, but every day, like, I think that's one of my strengths. That every day I want to do 100% in whatever I do. So I didn't leave any details, like, to anyone at all. Like I really did everything. So, but then you never know how the body's gonna respond and everything, and it's a long time. But there again, like I mean, the people who was around me with the rehab, the one who worked with me, they were really important and motivating me every day. But then also, I mean, just to have teammates that checking in on you, how you are sometimes, how is it going? Because also for 4 months I was another place, not where the team practice.
Oh.
So I was all like, you're not even close to them. You don't see them every day that you used
and
to.
they can't come visit you, right?
No.
Because they're training and you're rehabilitating.
Yeah, and also the rehab, I was there maybe 8 or 9 hours a day almost.
Wow.
Like double sessional time. So, but there I would say like, because like people ask, like, how is it going with people that's doing rehab? Like, it's advice to people, because everybody say, oh, it went so fast. You're back already. Like, yeah, for you, yes. But for me, I've been in there like every day, every minute. So I think there, like, the team was amazing, like checking on me, how I was feeling, how it was going. So that's really important. I think they can gives you extra energy.
Well, yeah, and remind you that like they're there for you, because it could be really isolating, I would imagine. Especially when I read about your injury, my automatic thought was, oh my God, I would be so concerned that like I'd lost a part of myself. Like what if it didn't go well and I couldn't come back? Like that had to be scary, right?
Yeah, because I think we all like identify us with like as football players. But then there again, I think it's so important to, I don't know, have a big support system around you, like in your work now. It's football, but also around you to be around with family and friends that are good. And maybe it's better to have less and quality.
I agree.
Around you, in those moments, like to see that you're also Linda, and and I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned your family. How have they been in support of this? Because they don't live here, right?
No, yeah, they live home in Sweden. No, but they always been really supportive. And yeah, when I went through this, they came here when I was all alone here. When everybody went on vacation, I stayed here in Turin during the summer. So the whole team was away too, on vacation or on Olympics or tournament. So they came here. So they always been a big support. So I'm real thankful for that.
Yeah, and I think it's also nice to just have people that know you. Like you said, Linda, I'm just Linda to them. I think sometimes that can be a nice reminder, especially if we're having almost like a crisis of identity. Like, well, who am I? And what if this doesn't go well? And all of the stress of that. So I'm really glad you have them and they're able to come visit. So your family has been obviously huge support, but what about professional support, like coaching staff, rehabilitation staff? Like, how has that played a role in your ability to continue giving 100%, pushing through?
No, but I think in a team you have so many different people and with different qualities. Like you have your coach, you have your assistant coach, the medical staff. So I think all of them has a different kind of responsibility of support to the player. And like as a coach, I think it's really important to involve everybody, to see everybody in a team, to get them feel involved and a part of what we're gonna do, and because we in the end we go all together in one direction and we want to win games. So for the staff, I think there's so big impact on how a group can feel as an individual, how you can feel. And I mean, the better the players are feeling in a group, and the more home and the more that they can be themselves in a group, the better we will perform at the pitch too. So I think they have such a big impact, and to create a good environment for everybody.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but when I was playing football in high school, so a long time ago, I remember two of the girls were fighting about like a boyfriend. Ugh. But they were fighting, and it ruined our games for like weeks because we just couldn't function together as a group. Have you ever experienced that, where it just gets off, and until you communicate, it's almost like you can't right the ship?
No, I think communication is really like one of the most important things. Like when you say, when something happens and when things are not going well, like sometimes it's just to talk, to have a quick talk with the group, with the players, some players, and just let people get to say what they think and what they feel, and there is also important to listen and to don't judge again, because in the end it's your feelings and how you're feeling in that moment, and so communication is really basically everything to get a group to function and to work.
Yeah, and I was curious. I know that you just played your 100th game. How have you ever led those conversations or started difficult communication with your team to ensure that you can get back on the pitch the next time and play the next game and come together? Have you ever been the instigator of those difficult conversations?
I think I'm a player that like always cares about relationships with the players and with my teammates, and I always try to be in a good way and to be kind in a good way to them, to everybody. And I think it's important to show respect to everybody.
Because support is so important, and it sounds like we have all sorts of different types, whether it's professional, whether it's our coaching staff, whether it's our parents, whether it's your girlfriend or other teammates. How do you select the people to let in? Because you're saying it's better to have few that are quality than a lot that are not as great.
I mean, my friends, I choose the one I now feel good with. They make me feel good. They make me feel that I can be who I am, and really comfortable around them, and like no judging. And I think it's so important to surround yourself with positive energy, positive people. You should spend time with people that gives you something, and not people that takes your energy. So I would say that during the years, I mean, when you're young in your school and everything, but like then after that, like for me, I really want to be around people that gives me like energy, like have a positive mindset, and just makes me happy. So yeah, of course, my friends I can choose. My family I can't in the same way, but I can choose how much I speak with them, my relation with them. But no, and then in the team, I think it's also so important to have a few that you're closer with, or someone that you're tighter with, because also in the moments maybe when you're struggling, they can maybe help you and see you, because they know how you work. So I think it's important to have someone there. It's so important to be able to work with everybody and to learn when you're in a big group that to collaborate with everybody and have that quality. But then I think it's like I mentioned, like to have a few that's really maybe a little bit closer to you and knows a little bit more about you, that makes you more maybe feel more safe.
Yeah, I think there's always layers to friendships, right? There's like acquaintances, and then there's like your close, close friends. And I do love the idea. I've always thought of it as like breath in versus breath out. Like when you're giving energy to something, it's like breath out. But when people actually are giving to you, and it doesn't mean they're giving something to you, but their support feels like a breath in. It's like recharging, right? And we leave feeling like so much better, which I love that analogy, because if you breathe out for too long, you'll just pass out. So it's like,
we don't try that now.
No, but like, it's a reminder that you need both. You need, for every breath out, you need a breath in. And so I really like that like you have people that you feel fill you up, make you feel better, remind you that you're just Linda and that's enough. I think that's really key to all of our support systems. If you were to offer advice to a younger footballer or your younger self about creating a support system, what kind of advice would you give?
My advice would be, if I look back to my career and I can feel like moments when I've been like feeling really well and really good, and then the moment's been a little bit harder, and then why I don't remember, but I just remember like if I look how I am, I would say to people, be brave and speak up earlier. And because if you do that, and maybe you have something like on your chest, and just if you start to speak a little bit, and maybe then you open up more and more, it feels so much better and good. And I think if you're brave and speak earlier, then you won't let it go so far until you ask for help, or so you can just keep your the balance and just stay up here early and more than instead of like maybe going in there. Now I need
like emergency.
Help. Like 112. No, just
Yeah, too much breath out. We just
exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a great advice. I think we wait too long. I even hear from my audience online that like they think that in order to reach out for like to see a therapist or a psychologist, that they think they have to be at a certain level of like bad. And I'm like, just being human is enough. It's hard enough. So speaking up sooner.
And to have like a psychologist, just also like personal progress, and is an investment in yourself, like as a person. And so also one thing I think everybody should feel like they're not alone. I think that's the important one. They're not alone, and everybody going through different things. So, and I would say like be kind to the other people around you, because you never know what the other ones are going through and what they're struggling with. So to start and always be really kind, I think it's a good start.
I agree. There's always this story that pops in my head when people say that, because one of my friends, who's a good friend now, but at the time when I'd first met her, I thought she didn't like me because she was like standoffish. And every time I'd come around, she'd like be like not very friendly. I was like, God, I don't know why she doesn't like me. And then at one party, she just randomly was like, oh, whenever I'm just like standing on my own, not paying attention, it's because I'm having a panic attack. It's not you, it's me. And I was like, of course, like why would she have a reason to not like me? I didn't even know her, but we make up these stories and we think that then that means that something's wrong. I've done something, they're not going to like me. We make it about us when it's really, we don't know what other people are going through, and jumping to conclusions only hurts us, So I love that. It's a great reminder and really important. The last question I have, because I get asked all the time online, which is beautiful because it means other people are trying to reach out and support their friends and family. But I always get asked, like, how can I support others? So what advice would you have to someone, or if you could tell people the way to support you most and best when you're having a tough time, what would that look like?
No, I think we get back to the asking, maybe asking one more time, and maybe the next time you're ready to open up a little bit. And then also like to ask them, what can I do for you? Or in this moment, what do you need? Like, I mean, I remember when I went through this knee injury, like one time I was a little bit low, like, and my friend was just like, but just calm down, we take an ice cream. We don't even have to talk about the injury. We don't talk about it, nothing else. Like, we just take an ice cream. So yeah, to ask him what you can do, and maybe ask one more time extra.
Yeah, because it can take us a little while to feel okay to open up. And I love that, like, we can just go get ice cream. We don't have to talk about it. I think sometimes people worry that they have to fix it. They have to have an answer. You have to know how to make it better. And I'm like, no, you don't. You actually just have to be there. Like sometimes it's like, hey, can I just bring food by and we can like watch Netflix and not talk? Because sometimes it's just having someone there, right? That can be what we need the most.
But it's hard. It's not easy.
No,
like
easier
how to
said
know.
than
Yeah,
done.
but how to know, like how to check in on the other person. Like, what's the best way I go to you and to see, like, check in on you, like, because it's a little bit scary sometimes, maybe. But I guess it's better to try than not.
Yeah, agreed. How did people check in on you? What did they say? How are you? Or what's the probe? How do they keep poking?
Yeah, I think so. Just asking. And I think in the beginning I was like, I'm fine, you know. And I was like, I'm not fine. Like,
I lied.
Not at all. You know? And no, but yeah, I think they did that. And yeah, my friends and maybe my family, when the moment when they see like I'm not opening myself, I'm just avoiding maybe answer some questions like, I'm sorry, I'm okay, I'm fine. And you just like start
Change the
talking.
subject.
Yeah, change subject. And like, yeah, that means like I don't want to talk about it at the moment. But yeah, I guess ask again and just maybe be a little bit pain in the ass sometimes.
Yeah,
Maybe,
and
I
ass
don't
is
know.
okay sometimes.
Yeah.
And letting people know it's not a burden. Like
Yeah.
it's not a burden for me to hear how you're doing. It's not
No,
going
that
to
one too. Yeah.
make it too hard for me, right? I'm asking because I care.
Yeah, we're caring together.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us.
Yeah, thank you.
It's really helpful. And it's interesting to hear your take on things and how you've created such a beautiful support system for yourself.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you for listening and watching. Make sure you follow along so you don't miss any of our stories of strength.